I am crazy excited about this little change, probably more than I should be. So Schoology has made the conversion from Flash to HTML5. Why would that excite me? Well, for one thing, Flash and Chromebooks do not necessarily get along. So putting voice recordings into Schoology has been very problematic. Now that we have the conversion to HTML5, you can have audio recordings that the students can listen to and reply back with audio recordings. And so this is fabulous, especially for our foreign language people who want the students to reply back and you can hear them speaking the language, so it is going to be fabulous. What I have created is just a little example of what it looks like, and then I'll quickly take you through how to do it, to set it up. So I created a discussion board post with a prompt and an audio recording. So it would probably be better if I spoke Spanish for this example. I, however, do not speak very good Spanish, so please try not to cringe too much. If you do speak Spanish, I profusely apologize. So this little prompt is just tell me in Spanish something that you are looking forward to over Thanksgiving break. And so I did my audio recording. I just clicked view. View is the quickest way to do this.
In Spanish, tell me something that you're looking forward to over Thanksgiving break.
All right. If you click on the actual words here, it's going to download onto your computer. You're going to have to open it up with like VLC Media Player. You probably don't want this little recording downloaded onto your computer, so just click view and it'll let you listen to it without downloading. It just plays it locally. And then so for a student response, I responded for Hannah and I wrote out the sentence in Spanish, but then as it asked, I went ahead and recorded in pretty bad pronunciation the answer to it. If you see this little thing instead of view, it is where it's still downloading the response. So if they're doing it and you're trying to grade it right away, you may have to wait a little bit. So if it takes a second, all I did was I paused this for 1 second, I hit refresh, and it popped right up. So you may have to refresh it because Schoology doesn't auto refresh. It may be done before it looks like it's actually done. I'm just going to push play here.
No puedo esperar para ver a mi familia.
So cringy, sorry. That is the audio response, and so while it did have the link to it that would have downloaded it, you don't want to download 100 responses from your students, so just click on the little I think it was a little television, and it'll play it so that you can see it, and then I can reply back. Maybe practice the pronunciation. I'm going to show you now how to set up your own discussion board using the audio. I'm going to add materials, add a discussion. I'm going to name it. You can type in your discussion and record it, either, both, whichever you like. So if you are a foreign language teacher, you could write it in Spanish and then say it in Spanish. You could vary that up, of course, however works best. As I said, mine is horrible, so I'm just going to record it in English. So you're just going to come down to this little microphone. It's going to ask if you want audio and video or just audio. So if you want to record it so that they can see you, you're more than welcome to use video. I'm just going to use audio. They both work pretty similar. When the privacy pops up, you're going to click allow, and I click remember so that I'm not going to see this prompt over and over again. And then just push the record button. It may also pop up and ask you again to allow your mic or your camera to go. I've already allowed that prior, so I'm not seeing that again, but occasionally that does pop up also. So now I'm going to record. Please describe the weather today. And then you just push insert. And then your file is going to show down below. You can enable grading for this, so if this is going to be a grade, you can enable grading, and then you'd have to give it a grading category and all the normal items. You can align it to an objective so that you are able to see how they did on this and monitor it through mastery. And then if I am grading something, I always come down here to make them post before they can see other people's posts to make it as legit as possible. And then create. Alright, so now let's look at our example. There's my written example. Normally, if I were doing this for students, I'd add a little picture, but that's just me. And then if I want to hear what it sounds like, I'm just going to click View, Play. Please describe the weather today. And that's all there is to this side of it. And now we're going to look at what it looks like for the students on their Chromebooks to reply back to us. So now I'm going to play the part of a student.
All right, so now we are on here as a student. So I'm on Hannah's account for right now, and I'm in my sandbox course, and here is the voice example that we just recorded. So now we're playing the part of a student. I'm going to open the assignment. Please describe the weather today. She can also click view and hear it if this were Spanish and she needed to hear the directions.
Please describe the weather today.
So she would go ahead and she could listen to that, and then she comes down and she's going to reply to me. To do that, she's just going to click the microphone. Those options may come up to allow the mic, and so I have not looked up how to reply back to this, so we're going to pretend I didn't say in Spanish, so I'm just going to go ahead and record. Today the weather is overcast. The temperature is approximately 50 degrees, and it's kind of a rather dreary day. So that is my answer. They'll just click insert. It may take a moment to upload. It has done these short answers pretty quickly. 2 days. Overcast. Fahrenheit. And then post. All right. It has the little loading symbol down here to let me know that the file is being converted. It should go pretty quickly. It's just a sentence. And then that's all the students have to do to reply. So it's pretty nice. This is not just for students who are in foreign language classes. This is a good voice and choice option. This would be great for any students that have an IEP or 504. It would be great for just some informal discussion and get the writing component out of it. So if you want to just hear what students know, and it's not necessarily about the writing, although I'm not saying that that's not an important part of the literacy, but sometimes that can be a barrier for students, and we don't hear a complete thought from them when they have to write it. But if we allow the audio option occasionally, we perhaps will get more in-depth answers from students. So just something to think about. I'm not saying one's better than the other. I definitely think they have to write. I'm not saying that. It's just an option. So something to think about.